Welcome back to the Wealthy Cowboy Show. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. It's just me, solo episode. I'm going to start doing some of these short little episodes on different topics. Today is a book that I think is very impactful, that can really change your life if you read it and apply these principles to your life. But it's just going to be different topics that kind of come up in my life, or I read, or I hear somewhere, or see in somebody else's life. And I've got some good sponsors for the actual podcast, so it's allowed me to branch out, do this, provide y'all with some more content that can help get y'all further and better your life. With that being said, these episodes are going to be sponsored by my credit card processing clients and the Wealthy Cowboy Mastermind group. So if you like these little episodes, then go check out the Mastermind group. If you own a business, holler at me, see if we can help you with your credit card processing, or know somebody or work for somebody that owns a business, see if we can help you with your credit card processing. And all that comes back into allowing me to provide more value for y'all. And that's what we're here to do. So the 4 Agreements is the book we're going to go over today. I've listened to this, I don't know, several times through, I don't know how long ago. I found it a year or two ago, and I listen to it every once in a while. It's an old book, and it really just goes over these 4 agreements that you can make with yourself to better your life and live a better life. And you can apply this, any person can apply this to their life. It opens up, it starts talking about domestication. And this is a pretty cool little intro because it talks about babies, how we teach babies, and we do this with horses and dogs and everything, how to be domestic. And we teach them, they just want to do whatever they want to do. So when we try to push them in a certain direction, that's when they rebel, right? A baby's going to start saying no, throwing fits. A horse is going to say no. A dog's not going to listen. They're going to fight that domestication because they just want to do what they want to do. And being domestic, there's some good and some bad things. We learn some bad things, like how to judge, judging other people, judging ourselves. There's good and bad things about that. But there's pros and cons to being domestic. One bad thing it talks about is how we judge ourselves and how much we abuse ourselves. So it relates this back to, like, if you did something wrong and you go to court, you're going to get a sentence, right? You're going to go to jail for a year. You're going to get probation for a year, or whatever it is. You're going to get that one sentence, and then you're done with that. When you serve your time, whatever it is, you get probation, whatever it is, you're going to be done in the law, in the eyes of justice. But what we do to ourselves is, if we do something wrong, we keep punishing ourselves because we keep thinking about it. Somebody may keep bringing that up, or you may bring it back up in your own head, and every time you bring it back up, you're going to judge yourself, you're going to feel bad, and you're going to abuse yourself just by thinking about that. Which is it's a pretty terrible thing. If we could just punish ourselves one time and then let it go, it would, and we'll move on from that, is a better way to be. We get into the first agreement. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And impeccable means, with the definition, like the ancient definition of it, is without sin. And I looked at some more stuff. The more modern thing would be like without flaw, perfect. So be perfect with your word, be flawless with your word, without sin with your word. It says your word is the power that you have to create. So you can create things in the world starting with your word. Your word is the gift that's directly from God. So at the very beginning of the Bible, it talks about the Word, and in the beginning there was the Word. And so it all kind of goes back to that. Your word can be magic. It can do positive things, transformative things, magical things, or it can also be black magic on the other side. It can do nasty, dirty things, and it all just depends on what you're saying. Are you speaking positivity into the world, or are you gossiping and speaking slander and trash into the world? And it goes into this. You can cast spells on people with the word, and this all kind of relates together with that magic and black magic. So it gives an example in the book about go out and you just see somebody on the street that's completely healthy and tell them it looks like they have cancer. And if that person takes that personally and believes that you just randomly spoke onto them, then it's a very good chance that they develop a cancer. I don't know about all the medical stuff of that, but just in a more general sense, if you go tell somebody they look ugly or something like that, and they take that and they believe it, then you might have ruined that person's day, that person's hour, or that person's week, or who knows where that person is. It could want to make them take their own life. That's that black magic. You do it to yourself also. You can tell yourself you're stupid. I'll never understand this. I'm just stupid, or I'm always late, or I'm always this, or I'm always that. It doesn't matter. If you're saying that and you're believing it, then you are those things. It comes back to like that old thing of if you say you can or if you say you can't, you're going to be right either way. So you can do the opposite of that, and you can cast a magical spell on yourself and tell yourself that you're pretty. Tell somebody else that they're pretty. Tell somebody else that they're smart. Tell yourself that you're smart. Just because you don't understand something right now doesn't mean you're stupid. You can still be smart, not understand anything, or not understand something, but you keep trying and then you eventually figure it out. And those are just little ways, just with your word, that you can make your life magical, or you can take it down the black magic path and the negativity path. Another cool example that they talk about in here is, and with a daughter, I think it relates because you can see how this would happen. It talks about a mom. She had a hard day at work, and she comes home and had a headache and was in a terrible mood, and had a little daughter there, and her daughter was just running around. This little girl's running around happy. She's got no worries in the world, running around happy. She's singing, wanting to play. The mom is not, has a headache and just in a negative place, and the girl wants her to sing and play with her and all this, and she keeps putting her off. Finally, she says, "Will you please just shut up? I have a headache. You're terrible at singing. Your voice is terrible, and just please shut up." Well, this girl, I think in here it says she had a beautiful voice, but she believed what her mom told her. So after that, she never sang anymore. And that could have changed that girl's whole life. That girl could have been a big time singer or in a choir or something like that. But she changed her whole image because she believed these words, it's black magic that her mom put on her, just because she was in a bad spot. And it rolls in, all these agreements tie into each other. So the second agreement is don't take anything personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It's because of themselves. It talks about like how we're pretty prideful, and we think that whether somebody gives us praise or somebody puts us down, it's because of something that we've done. And that's generally not the case, right? Most people are going to be thinking about themselves. So if they come at you with some negativity, it's not that they know who you are, what you believe in, anything about you, especially a stranger. they're mad at themselves for something. They're having a bad day. They're going through their own struggles and all this stuff. And so we never know what's going on in each other's lives. And on the positive side of that, they may be praising you. They may be praising you and for themselves, it could be positive, or they could just be praising you because they want something out of you or trying to get in and do something with you. But we never know. It's always coming from themselves. Don't take anything personally. You have a choice to believe or not to believe. So if somebody tells you you have a terrible voice, or somebody tells you you're stupid, or somebody tells you you're ugly, you have that choice to believe it or not believe it. If you want to choose not to believe it, then those words just bounce right off of you and you go on about your day. If you choose to believe it, then it can really ruin your day or your week or your month, depending on where you are in life. You can let those little deals start stacking up. It says, if you adopt this, don't take anything personally. If you adopt this, you're immune to the black magic of the world. So just think about this. If you choose not to believe the black magic that somebody else is going to put on you, then you're immune to the world. Somebody can spew all the hate that they want into your life, and it's just going to bounce right off of you. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, because everything you have is coming from inside. So you can use that as a positive. Don't let other people bring you down. The third agreement, don't make assumptions. This is a big one. If you're in a relationship, if you're married, especially married, I see this a lot. We make a lot of assumptions, and a lot of problems come into our life from making assumptions. And we make assumptions because we either, there's a miscommunications. I thought you meant this, but you really meant this. There's a lack of communication, just not being clear, lack of clarity. And that's not just on the person that's communicating, that's on us too. We could always ask more questions, ask clarifying questions, make sure exactly what that person meant, because they may be trying to be nice and you're going to take something personal and allow it to bring you down, and then then you're mad and it revolves back on the other person, and it's a whole revolving door, when all it was just an assumption was made because there was some kind of communication gap there. On to the fourth agreement, always do your best. And this agreement goes along with putting these other agreements into action. So always do your best at not making assumptions. Always do your best at not taking anything personally. Always do your best at being impeccable with your word. This does not mean perfection. Your best will always be different. So if you go out and party all night and you go to the gym the next morning, you're not going to be as strong as you were. You can suffer all you want, but you're probably not going to lift as much weight as you did in the middle of the week when you were in the zone. All that to just say that your best is not exactly a measurement. It's an internal measurement. It's not an external measurement. So only if you're doing your best. You're gonna make assumptions. You're gonna take stuff personal. You're gonna go back on your word and do some things and have some slip ups. But always just try to do your best. Always doing your best means taking action regardless of reward. That means not going for the accolades, not going and doing the job, not going and roping every day to go win a gold buckle. You're going and roping because you like to go rope, and you like to do your best. You like to go, whatever it is. You like to go barrel race. You like to show horses. Whatever it is, you don't do it for the accolades. You do it because you like to do it. when you do your best, you accept yourself. I know, like myself, and I'm sure you can relate, that no matter what the outcome was, if you did your best in that job, in that task, you're going to accept the outcome, whether you did bad or good, whether you got first place or fourth. You know that even if you got fourth place, you did your best, and those other guys were just better on that day. Forrest Gump is a big example of this. So Forrest Gump took action and always did his best, even though he wasn't the smartest or the most talented. You just think back, if you've seen that movie, he did it out of ignorance. Like, he didn't know anything. He just went in. He just started running just to run, and he ran, and it was this huge movement. He went into war, and he did his best, and he saved people. He did all these different things and had a lot of success just because he's always doing his best, because he didn't know anything else. Don't expect to be perfect and not make mistakes, but do your best. That's the whole thing. All these agreements, these 4 agreements, they all tie into each other. And if you can start implementing them as much as possible, do your best to implement them into your life. And they all relate to each other, right? It starts with your word. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Don't make assumptions. Be clear. Get clarity while you're communicating with somebody. Make your word clear. When somebody tries to speak something negative onto you, don't accept it. Just brush it off. And it's going to be hard to do, but always do your best. That's the 4th agreement. So, like I said, we're going to keep doing these little short episodes. If you like it, share it out. You can holler at me, let me know feedback on it. If you want to keep supporting the Wealthy Cowboy Show, we've got some great sponsors that are allowing me to do this part. This part is going to be sponsored by the Mastermind Group, where we go more in depth with the guest of the Wealthy Cowboy Show, whether that's ranching or business or whatever. We just go more in depth with them. Plus, you have the community aspect of it. And then if you own a business, or you know somebody that owns a business, send them my way. We can probably put them in a better spot with their credit card processing. So we'll see y'all next time.